This is the plaintiff, Stephen Custer. He says he met the defendant when she was married to her abusive husband. And then one day she showed up at his doorstep. She moved in with him. They got engaged and married, and then things took a turn for the worse. She filed for divorce, told him she was going to take half of everything from him. She also got an order of protection against him. Now he wants back all of the money he lent her because she set him up. That's right, she knew what she was doing all along. And he's here seeking the return of the $5,000 he's owed. This is the defendant, Belinda Custer. She says the plaintiff was very controlling, and she knew pretty fast things weren't going to work out. He's mad she left him and simply trying to lash out at her by filing this lawsuit because he's upset she's free and happy. Bottom line, she owes him nothing, and he knows it. She's accused of taking a guy for what he's worth. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for emotional distress.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Custer, I guess you thought when you had a divorce that it was finally going to be over, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Custer, you're here because according to you, she still owes you money.
Yes, ma'am.
And what say you she owes you and why?
I gave her a car, but one that would have to be fixed up.
So at some point during your marriage, you gave her a car. Go ahead.
Yeah, in the 5 months that we was married. And
Why were you only married 5 months?
well,
How long did you know each other before you got married?
about 4 years, roughly.
How long did you date before you got married?
She came to my house wanting my protection against her ex-husband.
On account of why?
I was in an abusive relationship. He was battering me.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. And then, so she came for your protection and you married her? How long did it take you to marry her?
Probably 10 months, something like that.
Okay. And according to you, at the end, she told you what? That she was going to take half of everything you own?
Yes. She said that she was going to get an attorney and take me for half of what she owed.
But what happened instead is you guys had an uncontested divorce, right?
Yes.
Where everybody just went their own way.
Yes.
Okay. So according to you, you have a promissory note from her where she agrees to pay you back $500 in a loan that you made to her. What was the purpose of the loan?
My neighbor had some so-called friends from, I believe it was church.
Was it to repair a car?
Yes.
Okay.
The car that I gave her.
Okay.
We went to the bank. I got the money out of my
And you
account.
had her sign a promissory note?
Yes.
Okay,
at
then
the
what
bank.
ends up happening, that neighbor can't really repair the car. So then you had to take it somewhere else to get repaired?
Yes.
All right, did you get a promissory note for that?
No.
Why not? Because you agree you signed a promissory note, right?
I agree that I signed it under duress.
How was it duress? How big was the gun he put to your head?
No, he didn't put a gun to my head. It was just the fact that I did not have a vehicle to leave. I didn't know where
That's
to
not
go.
called duress. That's called making a decision that's in your best interest. Everybody who signs a document does so because it's in their best interest. I mean, that's not duress. Duress means somebody forces you to do something. So now, why, if you had the presence of mind to get the $500 signed, did you not have the presence of mind to get the $912 that you had to pay to get the car repaired?
Because she's got all the receipts of the originals.
Why would that, how's that an answer?
Well, because she promised me verbally.
How is that an answer? My question was, why didn't you get it signed?
Yeah, because I trusted her.
Oh, why didn't you trust her before, though?
Well,
Before you didn't trust her, you made her sign.
because she started having medical bills and stuff that I was paying for, along with this, and also medical insurance when her Medicaid ran out.
Okay. And you're suing for that now, too, right? You're suing
Yes,
for the medical
yes.
insurance and the medical bills now.
Yes.
Did you get any of that in writing that she was supposed to reimburse you?
No, it's
And when
she has all.
What was the date? Let me ask you this. What was the date of the medical bills you were paying and the insurance you were paying?
I'm not sure on the date of
Well,
it.
you got to find it. So I'm going to leave you with your paperwork. I'm going to go to her and ask her some questions, because if you're suing for $340.25, my next question is going to be to prove that, and that should have a date on it. So according to him, he paid you $500, which you agree you did sign that document. And according to him, he paid $340.25 in medical bills for you. Did he?
Yes, we were still married at the time,
Okay.
and we hadn't gone for the
So
divorce.
was the $340 before the $500?
Yes.
If the $500 loan, which you acknowledge you're supposed to pay back because you signed it, so you know that wasn't a gift. If that was to cover car repairs, and then after that, it turns out there's an additional double that in car repairs, why would I believe that the agreement between you two wasn't that you'd pay him back?
We never really discussed that part.
He just kept paying for your stuff?
He did.
Well, then why did he make you sign the $500 loan thing?
It was all about control. He was angry with me at that moment, and it was
Look,
a
I
lot.
was a domestic violence judge for years. I understand maneuvering for control, but I also have an obligation to get to the bottom of the truth. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I have to try to understand why in a world you would sign something on day one saying, I'm going to pay for the car repairs, and then weeks and weeks later, there's twice more that in car repairs, almost $1,000 more in car repairs, but that you're not responsible for that. That somehow he's such a nice guy, he's going to pay for that, and you never have to pay him back for that, for a car that you're taking.
Well, part of that would be because I have, I signed a tax documentation with him, and he didn't give me any of that. He put it toward the car being worked on. And I have a documentation here where that my part would have been $1,107.50.
Do you mean the tax refund?
Yes,
Okay, and what happened?
he used that toward fixing the car.
Is that accurate?
No.
Did she get a refund that she
She
signed over to you?
filed jointly.
You filed jointly, so the
She had
refund
no-
was joint and you took it all?
She never paid no taxes or anything on it.
So now, you're suing for the medical bills. Did you find medical bills?
There's one there. She's got the rest. There was cash that I paid.
Okay, at this point, you're still married, right?
Technically, yes.
No, not technically. It's like being a little bit pregnant. You're either married or you've gotten a divorce.
Okay.
At this point, you're still married, right?
Okay.
All right, when were the car repairs?
Some of the car repairs I don't have because she has them.
Give me the bills for the car repairs, please. What was the date for the car insurance? It was before you guys got a divorce, right?
February. let me
Yes,
see.
and you got a divorce in March.
And Your Honor.
So this is before divorce. The date of the divorce was March 4th,
Yes, Your Honor.
and you got your car fixed the same day? That was a busy day. I get the impression that you feel that he was abusive also.
Yes.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin. Let's ask 14-year-olds about divorce here. Okay, so the question, how do grown-ups let go of the bitterness when they get divorced rather than holding on to the anger?
Find someone else to end their bitterness.
Okay, well, that's interesting. That's actually, a lot of people feel that way. What do you say?
I think maybe going to counseling, having good family support.
Okay, that's a good one. You're going to get the final word.
Oh, God. I've never been divorced, so I don't
Oh,
know.
I get it. What do you think? I mean, maybe you have out of the mouth of babes. What do you say?
I don't know. I guess I just move on. And
Hold the anger. Let's do that. Okay, going inside the courtroom.
Was he physically abusive?
No, he wasn't physically
Okay.
abusive.
But you just feel he was trying to control you?
He was, yes, Your Honor. He wanted to take the amount of money that I was getting in back pay, which was approximately $20,000, and he wanted me to pay off his rental property. And I said, only if you're going to give me a portion of it, at least make me half owner. And he refused. And I said, well, I'm not going to give you the money. And that's where everything went downhill.
Did you give him any money of that money?
No.
And what did he feel? That he had been carrying you for a while, that maybe he should get some of that money, or what?
I guess I don't know exactly what he felt.
Oh, it's your marriage. Didn't he
Yeah.
say what he felt?
Well, there's truth and then there's lies.
But what did he tell you he felt?
I mean, he told me that he loved me. We got married, and I thought everything was fine. But as soon as that developed, and he knew that I was going to get my back pay, everything fell apart. And that would have been after November the 15th. That's when I seen the federal judge.
All right, now, you folks got a divorce. Did either of you have lawyers?
No.
I went pro se, ma'am.
That means no. That means both of you represented yourselves. Now, typically speaking, in a divorce decree. There is a magical sentence that says, and both of us agree to hold each other harmless so that this nonsense doesn't happen. Can I see the copy of the divorce decree? Because I kind of didn't find that sentence in there, which is...
I have it circled, Your Honor.
You have it circled?
Yes, ma'am.
Each party shall have full ownership, use, control, and financial responsibility for all personal property presently in their individual possession, free and clear of any claims of the other party. So you feel that this entitles you to not have to pay for the car, but there's no issue about you having to pay for the personal property that's in your possession. He's not asking for money for the car. I don't think this covers it. It does, look, here's my feeling on this. There's stuff that happens before the divorce, and there's stuff that happens after a divorce. There is so much of what he's suing for that happens before the divorce that typically I am not inclined to find there was some clear intent that you're supposed to pay him back. The one thing I do think there's a clear intent that you're supposed to pay him back for, and that I'm buying, are the repairs to the car. Because he had you sign something saying the repair to the car in February, before the divorce. Like, in other words, I can look at other stuff and say, well, that's a husband paying stuff for a wife. How can I can't separate the pots and pans of your lives like this. I can't figure out who had the salad and who had the smoothie. I'm not doing that. But when I see a loan document that says car repairs she's going to pay for, and then later there's more car repairs, it kind of makes sense to me that that's something you got to pay. So I am going to order you to pay the $500 from the original loan. And I only see receipts, even asking her for her copies, I only see receipts for $881.05 for additional repairs to the car. So I'm going to order you to pay him not the amount he's suing for, certainly not emotional distress. He wants $3,000 from her for emotional distress. She wants $5,000 from her for emotional distress. Do I really have to talk about that? Because I don't really want to. I think that's silly. I think you're both just, you're both piling on. All right, so I'm going to order you to pay $1,381.05, which is the total for the car repairs, and that's it. Thank you, folks.
So the plaintiff prevails, but only for the car repairs. Mrs. Custer, let me just ask you, how do you feel about the judge's verdict? She listened to you. What do you think?
Well, I didn't get the chance to talk to her about my case. I had recordings where he had threatened to break my son's wrist and different things. He had threatened and intimidated me over the last months, ever since I did leave. I went to a women's shelter for domestic violence and stuff, and so it has been very trying on me.
It's been a rough year or two for you, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry about that, but anyway, you do have to pay for the car repairs. Sorry, that's what she has decided.
Oh, well.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm sorry for you. Mr. Custer, what do you think about what she just said? Did she go to a violence center, domestic violence center?
No, it was a women's shelter, but it wasn't because of me.
Well, look, anyway, you're going to get the car repairs, and then that's going to be it. It's going to be over between the two of you.
Yeah, I hope so.
Thank you very much. Good luck to you. Sorry it worked out this way. Complex. Harvey?
Okay, Doug, I mean, look, to get emotional distress, it has to be really extreme. And in this case, it feels like both sides are creating their own emotional distress.